What we have here are all of the ingredients for what should be a bomber couple of days. Oh, dainty, you're so dirty.
Hey boys, good to see you back! Why don't you come on in for a little tea and strumpets? Maybe leaving a little bit in the tail of the donkey.
This mountaintop does not disappoint.
Can't talk, a little busy.
Good morning, everybody. It's day one of the first annual Mountaintop Invitational at the beautiful Kiefer Lake Lodge. It is fantastic out here. I wanted to get some of the business out of the way now. As you might know, we were doing an evaluation of 3 different snow bike kits this year. One's the Mountaintop, one's the Timber Horse, and one's the CMX. And the CMX is the only one that's not a 129 in length. It's much shorter at a 120. We have different criteria that we evaluated them on. They are on the trail, powder meadows, trees, powder hills, and trees, powder, and hills. Some other miscellaneous criteria, and then the cost of ownership, the enjoyment of ownership. One of the things I did want to cover before going any further is that the more we talk to other snow bikers, we find out they like doing different stuff. Dane here is perfect on his 500 timber sled, for example, because he likes that the ski stays down when he's climbing really big, crazy stuff. Me, on the other hand, I like carving really hard in the trees, not knowing what's around the corner. I value different things. So just before we get into any of this, recognize that our scorecard is a methodical look at how each thing scores. However, you might put a different weighting on each of these items. All right, let's get this up on the screen for you, the first section on the trail. Take a look at the totals down here. The timber sled, we scored at a total of 15, the Mountaintop 129, and the CMX 120 at 14. As you look at the different numbers, you're gonna see the big standout is the CMX 120 at how bumps feel. Without that rear suspension, those bumps can sometimes really kick you in the bum and make things a little bit rowdy. One thing I want to point out is that we're going to have a very detailed, it's a 3-page review of why we scored each one of these boxes the way we did, and all this is going to be available online. I'll tell you about that in a little bit here. Now let's move on to the next section. In this next section, we have powder meadows. So we have the timber sled, Mountaintop, and CMX coming in. We have a total of 18, 20, and 25 respectively. So as you can see, that CMX 120, in our opinions, really pulled ahead in those powder meadows, scoring an absolutely perfect score. Let's move on to the next section of trees, powder, and hills. Taking a look at the score at the bottom here, 27, 27, 29. Once again with the CMX just getting a slight edge here. And let's see where that happened. We got a 5, 4, 3 down to the X factor. So X factor for us is just how much fun was it? Like how big of a grin does it put on your face? You can't really put your thumb on it, but we needed some variable where we could say that's the X factor. Let's move down to the next section, other miscellaneous criteria. You can see the scores. I know you're just going to jump down there and look at that 18, 19, and 14. So the CMX fell a little bit behind here, and that's the hard landing jumps and drops. So I had a few times this year where I came off something unexpected. It was a bigger jump than I had planned, or it was a hard landing and or packed, and it's harsh. I'm not much of a jumper, and I'm getting to be an old dude, so it lost a lot of points there. But otherwise, you can see these kits are fairly comparable. The other one to take note of is wheelies. So the timber sled is the most planted of them all. Then the Mountaintop is a little bit more rowdy, and then the CMX, the ski, just loves to be in the air a lot of the time. Moving down to our last section, we have ownership. Scooting to the bottom, we can see 18, 18, and 19. So we had pretty comparable experiences here. All 3 of the companies were really easy to deal with. Ease of installation, the timber sled was certainly a little bit easier, but the other 2 were still, they were great. Routine maintenance, we had to do a little bit more on the timber sled. You'd have to check the document for that. That's Andrew's notes. I can't do that just on the fly here. Warranty is fantastic for all these companies. Timber sled on paper has the best warranty for snow check people, but the other 2 companies they're just there. They're just there to help you. It's fantastic. And customer service, as I mentioned, has been top notch. In a couple of mornings, we had panic events where we had done the maintenance, we had screwed something up, and then we had to phone these companies, and they were right there. We never had to phone timber sled. We didn't screw anything up on that bike, but the Mountaintop and CMX guys were right there, super willing to help us out. It was great. So let's reveal the grand total now. So we have timber sled at 96 points, Mountaintop at 104, and the CMX at 101. So if you're going strictly by our criteria here, the Mountaintop edges it out. But it totally depends on what you value. And when you download this, you'll find little notes down here from myself and from Andrew, and it kind of says, regardless of the score, what's the right bike for you? I think you'll find it to be an interesting read, and especially that bigger document. It's another 3 pages, lots of details. I'll tell you how to get that a little bit later today. Let's go do a bit of a walk around, see who's here, and look at some of the bikes. Today, of course, get set up for a little photo op here. What? There's a lot. Tell you what, I'm gonna go in the back. No one's gonna run over me in the back. This is actually really good right here. Super whooped out, hard packed. My bars are on fire. I don't know, man. Being a bit of a suck, but I think it's dirt biking season. Gotta work really hard to get into this terrain. Top of a mountain, and let me tell you, it's windy and miserable. Get out of here. Landing. Toasty. Look what I found. Nice line. We're on quite a side hill here. It's fun, but I got treed out. That's something else. It's trapped up. Carnage. Make sure the rad's open for this one.
Yeah, just a little warm.
I assume we're climbing as straight up as we can up this.
I would guess this is their track there.
All right.
Probably just head out into this opening and try and get back up that way is my guess.
Pretty much it for the battery, so I'm going to sign off. If you want to get the scorecard, go to thatmotoapp.com. We'll try to put some instructions in there for you. Thank you. I had to rush the wrap up of the video yesterday because I was just running out of battery power. So very quickly, if you want the results, the full report, everything from the comparison this year, go to thatmotoapp.com and sign in using the voucher code RIDE for Dylan. I'll put it on the screen. and then you have to come in and find Vernon Snow MX. So consider it a bit of an adventure. Secondly, just wanted to thank the organizers of the event. It was fantastic. And yeah, that's it. We're looking forward to next season. But for me, today, dirt bike season begins. Chunky!